up the live stream. Voila.
So we're live
And,
right now?
and setting up meeting. And
Okay.
we should be live now. There it
Perfect.
is. Well, welcome, 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 everybody. It is Thursday, April 18th, and it is time for the Inner Circle. It's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time it happens to be where you are, because you are watching it now, whether it's live or recorded. Okay, I'm hearing some feedback here.
I think it might be on your end.
It might, you know what, you're right. There it is.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
that was
live
me. It
started
was
playing.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to turn off a
happens.
microphone. So I want to welcome each and every one of you to the Inner Circle. Couple of things before we get started. First of all, I got to give shout outs to Jamie Romine, Mary Valchik, Bob Johnson, and Kelly Davis for your testimonials. We put
Thank you guys
those
so much.
we put those up, and if you can share them, that would be great, along with any of the other videos that we happen to produce, whether it's on the YouTube channel or from the Facebook page. If you can share it, that'd be great. It gets us out, so there are more ears to hear. And we appreciate you guys for doing that too, because you know what? What's great is, and I know Mary and Bob I see are right here, um, and Jamie. It was so heartfelt to see what you shared with us, and that is the beauty. That's going to also help us grow. Excuse me, grow. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you very much. Um, Also, in case you are wondering, Robert is taking today's off.
We
So
fired him, so he's
yeah,
gone. Don't worry about him anymore.
exactly.
We had enough
Matt
of his business.
Matt and I are taking over at this point.
You guys see how he teases us, so we just decided it's done. We're done with the teasing, so it's
Yep.
over with.
And
So
we
now you
also
just have me and Craig. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, and I like Mary there. She's just like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, Bill's like, thanks.
And of course, Robert will be watching this later, and he'll gonna go, huh?
No, he's gonna know exactly what we're doing.
Exactly.
So no,
Uh,
yeah, like Craig said, you got me and Craig tonight for this inner circle. So um we just plan on kind of making it more of, instead of like a personal breakthrough, more of a creative breakthrough session with your guys' creativity, because that's kind of where me and Craig more lean into than the personal development side. So if you guys have any ideas, like I don't mind sharing some of the stuff that I'm doing too, but if you guys have any ideas that you're working on and you maybe want to like figure out a way in that process to make them better, whether it's making new videos, new content in general. We've even had people ask Craig acting questions on here before, which has really been great as well. Gotten great advice for being in front of the camera and certain things like that from Craig. So yeah, we're just kind of on here to serve you guys.
mhm.
Sorry that my dad couldn't make it today. He had something come up, wasn't able to do the call this morning as well, which I'm sure some of you guys noticed, but he had something come up today. Nothing extremely bad or anything like that. Nothing negative, just some stuff in real life, some stuff with the
Had to
house that
demand his
he had to,
attention. So
yeah, something with their house had to be fixed or something like that. And it was immediate. So he had to be there for that.
exactly. So if you guys want to, I mean, we'd love to, answer questions or give advice, however you would like that. Go ahead and you can either put your questions in the chats, whether you're on YouTube or Zoom. And also, if you're on YouTube, by the way, if you want to join us in Zoom, on the top of the chat in that blue bar where it says Robert Hollis and Unlimited Wisdom is the Zoom link. Click on that and you'll join us here in the Zoom room. Of course, the nice thing about Inner Circle Breakthroughs is that you get to talk to people personally. So if you'd like to talk to either Matt or myself, or we can all kind of, work together on things, go ahead and raise your hand. And it's very simple to do. On the screen in Zoom, put your cursor in the middle of the screen. You'll see buttons across the bottom. One of those buttons is a reactions button. Click on that and click on raise hand, and that'll notify us that you'd like to share. Or if you don't see the reactions button, click on the three dots that are the more button, and then click on reactions, and then click on raise hand, and we will go ahead and call on you. That's how simple it is, and that's how we do it every single time. And we appreciate the fact that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. on Inner Circle. So, oh, there we go. Okay. Two hands just went up now, almost at the same time. But Coach
Rock,
Bob,
paper, scissors?
well, I'm going by what
No.
usually ends up in the participants listing that we have here.
No,
And it
I
was
trust
by a
Craig.
hair.
Craig's the decision maker with this, so it's on him.
So it was by a hair that Coach Bob beat Lisa Marie, but don't worry, Lisa Marie, we're going to get to you or anybody else who follows there. So, Coach Bob, why don't you go ahead, open up, and please share. Let's get started on this Thursday Inner Circle.
Okay, I got a couple questions for both of you, so we can do that first. So I was watching this webinar, and it's about non-negotiables, right? What you're going to do every day. Okay, and this guy had, first he's going to review all of his goals 3 times a day. So he writes down his goals, going to review them 3 times a day. Workout 45 minutes a day. Feed the mind. You're going to read a book 10 pages each day. Talk to 5 business lead. Try to prospect 5 businesses to try to get in your group, and then share your work on social media. Three things. What are your guys? If you could tell me what your non-negotiables during the day are.
Mm-hmm. Craig, do you want to start?
Sure.
It's almost like a morning routine to a certain extent, but more of like
Yeah.
you're talking about like the things when you say non-negotiable, it's like the stuff we do every single day that
Yeah,
we don't give ourselves a pass for not doing
yeah,
type of thing. Got it.
I think a lot of it depends on what it is you want to do and what is comfortable for you and how you want to, what you want to focus on. Because, like, okay, my morning routine, wake up, I do 6-phase meditation in the morning or another meditation of just my own thinking and, like a transcendental meditation, which I know Robert has shared and talked about in the
sure.
past. Um, and then when I get up, do the shoot, shower, and shave. Uh, okay, shit, shower, and shave. Fine. You know that. Um, do a morning walk because exercise is actually, in my opinion, very good for you, even if it's just walking, getting out and doing something because it gets all of the blood moving throughout your entire body. And it to me, and from what I've heard from other people, it makes you more aware of things. It gets your head going as well as your body so that you're
Mm-hmm.
not sitting at the computer all day. Now, granted, I do that a lot, and I think Matt does that as well. So he'll share
All the time.
his. But, getting up and around and having a decent breakfast in the morning. And then, okay, sometimes in the night prior, especially when I know I have a busy day, I will write down some of the things that I need to do or that I want to do. And maybe I won't get to them. Maybe I will get to them. And I try to do at least one easy one first in the morning because then you get the fact that you've finished an item, a task. It makes you feel good. I
Oh, yeah.
got that done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I look at. And then I continue through the day. And it just depends on how much time you want to spend on whatever it is. I like to think that if you're in the groove, you can spend as much time as you want doing what you want. Also, understand the fact that you've got other things to do during the day. But sometimes, and the other thing is, but sometimes you need to kind of step away after a short period of time. So, stand up, walk around. Maybe that's a good way to reset your head and then get right back into it. So, yeah. And just because these people do that thing, and I know that Robert has shared that too. Robert shares the things that have made him successful. And those are the things that we want to follow, the things that we want to copy from him. But does it work for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, for me, yeah. See, I work out in the morning. I get up early,
Okay.
work out, and I've got a list of things I do, right? So, I mean,
Right.
uh, but I want to get that more reading in, like this guy
Okay.
mentioned, kind of in there. You know what I mean? So I'm taking, because I don't get that much in. So, and then my goals, I should write those down and look at them 3 times a day. I really don't do that. I
Well,
mean, I have
Yeah.
like work I do, you know what I mean? But I'm not, I should kind of just write them down and then go, okay, I want to try to get these things done. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, it's
but
interesting because everyone's kind of different, Bob.
mhm.
Like some
right,
people like to visually see them. Like if you ask my dad what he does with his
right.
goals, he'll
I,
like put them on his screen, he'll put them on the walls, like no joke. He'll like print them out and get tape and tape them on the wall so he can see them around. And that's just the way that he visualizes stuff. I know it's different for everybody. It's interesting whenever, and I love what Craig said with like it's different for everybody because it's interesting when someone tells you like do this set of non-negotiables because really in a lot of ways I see that type of stuff as like trying your best to compartmentalize something that's very very actually easy to do. It's my personal experience, but the reality is the most important thing that you can do is get yourself into state and then put yourself on a task that's whether it's exciting or productive for you to be doing. So it's like what gets me in state, what gets me excited, energized, happy, ready to go. What action then can I take and pinpoint my mind on to create things? Now, if that's a bunch of goals, great. My goals have changed so many times over the last 6 months that I stopped doing that simply because of what I'm working in right now. That it's like, oh, it'll be here in 3 months, it'll be here in 3 months, and that changes for me. So like my goals have changed. So it's a little bit harder for me to do the writing down thing, but I've heard people do that and I've done that myself. I'd say my non-negotiables for myself are to at least like learn one new thing a day, read a little bit, write slash journal a little bit, whether I'm writing fiction or something that I'm going to create or a script, or I'm just journaling about it or, outlining it or thinking about it. That could be a video, that could be a song, that could be anything really. But it's important, I think, to put your mind in a place of state and then get used to that being part of your routine because then you really could add anything to it you want. And I think this is why meditation can be important is it's like all meditation is doing you with you is after a certain amount of time, you have the ability to put your mind into that state of meditation. And I think that it works the same way with creativity, you guys. Like it works the same way with making things, works the same way with creating anything. So like when you get into that state, now when you sit down, it's totally different how you create. I don't know if it is for you, Bob, but when I'm in that state, man, am I like on the flow
Oh, yeah.
state in comparison, right?
Time flies.
Right. Stuff just goes by and it's not like, oh, did I do my negotiables today? I wasn't even thinking about them. I was so involved in what I was doing. Now, can that be unproductive? Absolutely. Like you could spend 13 hours playing a video game. You know what I mean? And that might not be so productive for you. But I think it is important to train your brain not on someone else's routine habits, but like kind of figure out what works for you, kind of what Craig was saying. But it is absolutely a great idea to take certain elements. Like one thing that I love to do is when I wake up now, I try to like put my headphones on, listen to music, and just like close my eyes and get into a meditative creative state because I'm so aware that if I start my day by scrolling or answering messages or working on things, and that's so easy to do when you're an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, just to like wake up, get coffee, sit down, start answering emails, start doing all the stuff you're supposed to do. Um, but the reality is that if you start your day that way, it kind of like shapes the rest of your day. It kind of puts you in a position where you always feel like you have to be working. And what's so cool about being in the flow state is I have no problem like sitting back and thinking while I'm in the middle of it. I don't feel like I'm losing anything because my mind's already still going. I don't
Right.
mind taking a break and stepping away. But like what happens when we step away when we know we have a lot to work on? Like what ends up happening is we start stressing because it's like,
Mhm.
well, shit, I should get back to work. Like I should stop watching this YouTube video. I should stop watching TV. I should stop doing this or that. And it's like, it's just because you're bored of what you're doing mentally. The only way to eliminate that boredom and do something for like more than a couple of hours, and there's a lot of science behind this, is to remove yourself from it or be in the flow state. Like go from one thing, and
Right.
you could look this up. There's like a few techniques, like the Pomodoro effect from the Japanese, a couple of other ones that require you even to set a timer and like move from one thing to the other for
Okay.
30 to 45 minutes. And there's science behind these things. And it's funny that we put kids in school at like 7 a.m. in the morning all day, right? Because your mind is just not working correctly and maintaining information. And we've all been there maybe and tried to sit down and read a book, right? And we're just not picking any of it up because our mind's just wandering or we're not interested at that time. One piece of advice that I could give you guys for reading that's really helped me out and helped everybody, like I've recommended it to, don't try to like force yourself to read. Try to find something that excites you to read. If you don't do that element, it's always gonna be a chore to you, right? Like I got all these books back here because I love to read. And that always is because if I have like a state, which I'm in kind of right now, where I haven't been reading as often as I'd like, I just drop the books that I was currently reading and try to find something that excites me to sit down and read again, right? Whether it's fiction, nonfiction. There's so many great nonfiction books. I'm just about to start reading How to Win Friends and Influence People again for myself because I always go through these phases in life where I'm less social and then I want to be more social. And that book has always helped me be a more helpful, kind social person, like aware of other people, less thinking about what they think about me, more thinking about them. So that would be my like non-negotiables. Be creative every single day. Try your best to learn something that excites you every single day and, spend the time on it that you feel is enough for you. And then as far as being productive, like you're saying, reach out to this certain amount of people, do this certain amount of things. I don't think it's bad to have like a quota for yourself. I just
Or
think
at
as
least
far as like
something that you can get to. Yeah.
Yeah.
it just depends on what you do when you don't reach that quota, right? Like if you don't reach that quota in a day, how do you feel about it? Right? Because if it's detrimental, then it's not good for you. Because like I think what's so interesting is people will set these quotas and routines for themselves and just hate doing it and wonder why it's not producing the results they wish it would,
And
right?
then they get
And it's like,
frustrated over it.
yeah, it doesn't work out. I've had this happen so many times in my life. I've grinded Facebook ads for months and not wondered why they were working out because I was never in the flow state. I woke up, got my cup of coffee, look at the analytics and went, how the fuck do I fix this today? How do I make this better today? Because in my own mind, I'm looking at it and going, not coming at it from a creative perspective. I'm always coming at it from that analytical perspective because my creative mind's asleep. It's like been asleep. So now I'm aware that my daily routine needs to start with waking that element up in myself and then putting myself on a task instead of, waking up with analytical stuff and then being like, well, what task do I do? Well, I just got the task. I've looked at all the analytics. I know what I need to do now. So
And
Eric
if I can add,
Markham said as well, audiobooks. I
yeah,
listen to
Oh
audiobooks
yeah.
more than I read sometimes. Because if I'm working on stuff, it's so easy to
Oh
just
yeah.
put it on. Or a podcast is another great way to learn. So go ahead,
and if I
Craig.
can add more to that, one thing that Robert has shared with us in the past is journal what you do for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add something. In addition to journaling for the 48 hours, what do you do during the week? Okay. Sunday through Saturday, write down the things that you have to do. Okay. And then take that as your foundation along with what you consider is your morning routine. And then within all of that, work out, like say you want to do, you've got, I forget how many hours are in a week exactly, but yeah, Eric is saying Robert had me do that once, and mine at the time was more distraction than anything else. So you learn. Thank you, Eric, for that. You learn. By the way, happy birthday, Eric, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Um, you take that whole thing, and it takes time. It does, but once you see where you are, what you do, and when you evaluate it, then you can figure out, okay, how much time can I spend here, but that I have to do here. These are gots tos. Okay. What are the gots tos? And then what can I take away that's going to help me move to the next level and go from that? That's
Yeah,
that's and that's I
it's
think
so
one of the best
interesting. That's
things.
great advice. It's great advice to take what you're doing and figure out exactly what it is because also there's certain things like I've done this before, right? Because my dad is an advocate for that. So I've actually done this where I've taken my day and written it all out. And what's so interesting about it is there's certain aspects to it that are just strictly entertainment that I have no desire to get rid of. Like I'm just not going to, right?
Non-negotiable.
Even though I make it, I know it makes me less productive in what I want to be doing. It makes me happy. And I think that balance is important too, to being successful in something. I am not part of like that grind mentality of people simply because I know burnout exists at the end of it because I've been there. So when they go, just grind every single day, eight to faint until you make it. It's like making it is so subjective. Like we've had situations where I felt I was making the amount of income that I wanted, but I still felt like I didn't make it and I still was grinding. And like I said, eventuality to that is burnout, right? Self implosion because you need that time. So now I'm so much more aware of in my day because I'm an entrepreneur and I can work all the time if I want to, or none of the time if I want to. I am so much more aware at balancing those things through the day, giving myself a chance to like sit down and watch something that entertains me for 30 minutes, but then being aware that I need to go back to work afterwards, that I need to go back to doing what I was doing. So it's so difficult sometimes to just like grind on something for hours without becoming frustrated, at least for me. Like, unless if I'm very excited about it. And even that, still, it's like, like Craig said, I'll grab my dogs, take them on a walk and think about it a little bit, get some fresh air and think to myself, am I doing this problem right? Is this campaign going the way it's supposed to? Um, that type of stuff. So it's going to be different for everybody. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
and
yeah.
would you say your non-negotiables were, or the ones that you shared in the beginning? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I want to
mine? No, no.
hear all
Well,
those again.
mine are different than this that I gave
Oh,
you on the
got it.
things, you know.
okay.
But I was just trying to find yours. Basically, what I'm trying to do is be better at time management,
Hmm.
and then not burn out too. Because I mean,
Hmm.
I'll grind. I mean, if you've worked on websites or anything like
Yep.
that, your stuff, you get so focused in it.
It's an
All of a
iterative
sudden
process.
it's
So you can walk away and come back, fix one thing, walk away, come back, fix one thing. That's all
Yeah.
day. Like it's that back and forth. At least it is for me.
And give
yeah,
Like,
yourself
yeah.
some grace.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all I'm looking at, trying to be better at time management during the day, get the most out of the day, no matter what it is, if it's entertainment or working or what. So
Yeah.
that was just my
Uh,
question, guys.
yeah,
if you don't mind, I'm going to bring in Melody because she is also an excellent coach when it comes to things like
yeah,
that.
she's great
Melody,
at this stuff.
why don't you go ahead, open up, and share with us, please?
Hello, everybody. It's so good
Hello,
to hear
amazing
your
Melody.
voices. I am so proud of you guys. I remember doing calls when Robert wasn't going to be on and not finding out to the last minute sometimes and popping on there. And I remember my heart beating just a little bit faster because he wasn't going to be there. So, Craig and Matthew, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
being here for everybody. Coach Bob, I love this topic. I love your questions. And I just want to let you know, I originally raised my hand because I wanted to say happy birthday to Eric. Personally, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm so happy you're here. And today we're all celebrating you, Eric. Um, Robert shared a list of 5 things that he called his morning rituals, RACHUAL, many, many, many years ago. And he said, pick a few of these things to implement in your day. Well, I needed results fast. I wanted change fast. I needed I just needed something different because what I was doing wasn't working in my life. And I knew what he had shared worked for not only him, but so many other people. So I held on to that list of things that he had done. And the way I look at it is if if I just put everything into putting on my armor every day, because that's the first thing, my prayer takes me, I go straight into meditation and then the God memorandum, and from there, from his list. And literally, when things are working for you and you see change in things, he said the God memorandum, or the greatest miracle in the world, read it 100 days in a row. If you miss a day, start all over. Well, I made it those 100 days the first time. The God memorandum I've never let go of. I remember that was August 16th, 2016. So I just celebrated 2,800 days
Wow.
It's
with the
awesome.
God Memorandum. And the way I see it is, if something is working, if something is helping you, if something is keeping your mind and your heart and your worth at the forefront of your mind, and keeping you in gratitude, why stop? Why stop it? I don't want it to go backwards. So, non-negotiables, anybody who's close to me knows that every single one of Robert's calls live is a non-negotiable for me. Unless I am unconscious, I'm here. I'm watching live, and Craig knows this too.
Yep.
And uh, it's not always a possibility for everybody because of work schedules and all of the things, but I felt it was very, very important for his calls. Now, another non-negotiable for me is, on all of his calls, if he shared something to do, or gave me a pop, or gave me an idea of where I could change something to get better results, I applied it, at least one thing, that day. That day. I don't care how late it was. I don't care how many hours we were on the calls with Robert. I remember being, Craig, you remember calls, Matthew? I think we did a 6.5 hour training
We,
call at
yeah.
one point. I mean,
Wow.
that was crazy. And,
Yeah, I
everybody gets
remember.
off and is, exhausted, wants to go to bed, have dinner. And no, I it was a non-negotiable for me to apply at least one thing that day. And every day, or every call, I would apply another thing. I would add another. I wouldn't drop the first thing. I would add another thing. So constantly adding something to my daily routine that is get me either, better mindset, or better results in my business, or just to make me a better person overall, a better friend, a better mom, whatever it was. Everything had to be moving me forward in some way. And then at the end of the day, I would take time and just reflect on what I spent my time doing. Could I make, could I have used my time more efficiently, be more effective? And, how could I do better tomorrow? What were the results I got, and how could I do better tomorrow? Two other things that I always, always need in my non-negotiables is to be growing, to be learning somewhere, somehow. It doesn't matter if it's in business, it doesn't matter if it's as a cook, it doesn't matter if it's in gardening, it doesn't, whatever. I need to be growing, learning something. And then the other thing is, whose life did I touch today? Whose life did I make better today? And how can I do more tomorrow? And if I just focus on those things, all the other stuff falls into place, because I'm being most efficient with my time, most effective with my time. And I know it's easy to go, okay, well, I'm just going to make a list, and from 11 to 12 I'm going to do this, and 12 to 1, and what, and trying to really structure it. And that takes a lot of time that you're not doing anything. That takes a lot of thought process. So if you're a person who maybe you're reaching out and connecting with people, set an alarm. Just set a timer for 30 minutes, just so you know that time had gone by. Because I remember in the beginning, I'd sit down in front of the computer in the morning, and I wouldn't look up till dark. And the whole day had gone by, and I'd just been doing that one thing all the time. And that doesn't help either. So I just wanted to add that in there, and just really look up what Robert shares and what he's done. And that morning ritual is like putting on an armor during the day, because things happen in life. somebody calls you and tells you they're not going to be in your business anymore. You get a flat tire, or the car doesn't start, or, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We need to have that armor on.
Yeah.
So we can stay in the place of gratitude, because when we can do that and we just know that we're doing the best that we can, it's not all going to be perfect. It's not all going to go the way you plan. But if you can learn to be flexible and stay on course and just stay in that gratitude, it's all going to move forward, and everything else is going to fall into place. And you'll find that you'll attract more of the right people. You'll attract more abundance. You'll attract just an incredible inner circle like this one here. So that's all I wanted to add. I love you guys so much. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I'm watching you. Just know I'm watching
Thank
you.
you so much, Melody.
Yeah.
Man, coming in
Thank
with the
you.
wisdom.
Wow. That was powerful. Yep. Thank you.
Melody, do you want to talk a little bit later? Because do you want to keep your hand up, or?
Can you put that down for me? My person left, and
I will take care of that. Yeah.
Do you have the ability to mute me too?
I
Yes,
do. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Melody. Love
Yeah,
you and
thank you,
appreciate you
Melody.
so
Yep.
much.
Yeah, I love.
You muted her, right?
Whoops. Sorry, Melody.
We knew what she was saying. She's
Yeah.
sweet. So
Yeah,
thank
she
you
is
so much,
a
Melody.
darling.
Yeah, and you know what? She exactly says it, and yeah, I mean, and the other thing too, Bob. Thank you so much for allowing us to use that testimonial that you put together.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
I'm just trying to move forward with, trying to get us going here, help out. So, but yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate grabbing all your views, and I will take the best of those and use those to become better. And thank you, Melody and Eric. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
I
happy
think this
birthday,
is
Eric.
a good time. Where are you, Eric? Is your camera on? There he is.
Is he on?
All right, it's on. I'm spotlighting him, and let's
Happy
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Eric.
Thank you for
Thank y'all
spending it
so
with us
much.
today.
That really means a lot to me.
Thank you so
Many
much for
happy
being
birthdays.
here, Eric. You mean a lot to
Thank
us.
y'all. And thank you, Melody. Love and appreciate y'all.
Thank
Love and
you,
appreciate
Eric.
you too.
All right. Let's see. We got Sandy Baker's hand was up, and so is
Okay.
Deborah Bronner's. So Deborah was first. Deborah, why don't you go ahead, open up, and please share with us. Welcome.
Well, hello, my family
Hello.
and friends.
Hello,
I'm
hello,
so
Deborah.
glad to be here. Well, first let me stop. I'm not good on front of a camera, so I get real nervous.
Neither am I.
Anyway, let me thank Melody, my dearest friend, and thank her for coming on, because she is the best one I've ever known for teaching me time management. So I was trying to write that to you, Bob.
Yeah.
And she's an inspiration if you ever get to talk to her in person. She is incredible. She is so courageous, so intelligent, and like wise beyond wise, like Craig and Matthew, and of course, Robert. So thank you all. I think you're all brilliant. I saw Coach Bob's testimonial yesterday, and I wanted to reach out, haven't yet, to ask him, how does he stay so calm and cool? And then I thought, well, Craig, you're an actor. There must be some tricks. I'm great behind the camera editing or sound editing or film editing. That was my training. But being in front of a camera, I don't know why I can't just be comfortable. I would love to do a testimonial of what Robert's done in my life. It scares me, but I'm going to try it tomorrow when my care person's here.
I thought you were in front of the camera for a while.
Pardon? No.
I thought you were.
When I worked in San Diego, I hosted a talk show, a local community thing,
Okay.
and directed the news and did audio and videotape. Then when the network called for me to start doing just camera work for the Moscow Olympics, which I go move all the way to LA, and we boycotted those. So Anyway, I stayed up and got to do sports, the Super Bowls and football, and basketball, golf, and it was the best career. Anyway, I want to know the best way to contact and ask questions to Matthew about AI. Is it on Telegram, or can you still do Facebook Messenger?
It would be Telegram. I'm like not really on Facebook anymore. Not that I don't think Facebook's good. It's dependent on what you're doing. It's just I didn't want to manage another social media network. So Facebook was the one that got the axe. But Telegram, if you just go to roberthollis.com/Telegram, and Craig, could you post that link in here? I'll grab it.
Yeah,
After.
I will go ahead and
Thank
do
you
that.
so much.
Not a problem.
You can join our private Telegram group. And if you don't have Telegram on your phone, it's really easy to make an account. But that group has a lot of activity. Like when you guys say, we're talking in that group pretty much every day.
That's right. I don't want to miss out.
So yeah, absolutely. Please get in that group. And you can ask any questions there. If you don't even want to write them, you could record a quick voice message and send it, and we'll listen to it. And if somebody else here has an answer, what's so great about the Imaginators group in general is that there's a lot of people that will answer questions before I even can get to them, because they've already handled that and dealt with it themselves, right? So that would be the best place to go. And as far as getting like comfortable in front of the camera, like I had issues with this a lot, being behind the camera doing production work for my dad and a bunch of other stuff like that. So what I did, I learned this one technique and it worked for me when I was younger. But what I did is you grab basically your phone or something like that, and you sit in front of your phone and you record a video for 10, 15 minutes a day on whatever subject is exciting or important to you. And then after you're done with that video, you grab your phone, you watch it over, and then you delete it.
What a great idea. Thank you.
Because the truth is we put so much effort into like making things great that one of the most noticeable things about confidence in front of the camera is accepting that things won't be great and you'll be fine. Right. So
right.
Like, you've seen technical mistakes that we've made.
I love live TV. So,
So
I love live shots.
That would work for you.
Shows. Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
will reach out to you about AI problems or questions on Telegram. Thank you,
Sounds
guys.
Good.
This is awesome.
Deborah.
And let me apologize. Last time on Imaginators, I was using, like today, my tablet was fully charged. And then it just died when it was about time for me to ask my question. So that's what happened to me. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Do you want to ask that question now? I could answer it here. I'm sure it would benefit people.
I want to say something different about Melody's explaining and teaching non-negotiables to me, because we all have what we fine tune our own thing to. I wanted to say that I always start by thanking God for waking up, and then I do my prayers and then write a gratitude list, or sometimes I switch those two. And then when I start writing goals or priorities for the day, I have to see the gratitude list at the same time throughout the day to stay in gratitude no matter what happens in certain situations. So that really helps me. And then, of course, the God Memorandum and the meditation. But you guys are great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Appreciate you.
The other thing, too, that I would recommend is if you want to buddy up with somebody and just talk to them like you're talking right now on the camera. If you want to schedule a time with me, fine, or somebody else. And we can record that. And I do this also on the side with some of my actor friends.
That'd be awesome, Craig.
I record their audition tapes. Okay.
Craig's a champion, man.
And the nice thing is, thank you. That's a great way to learn, especially what you're doing right now, actually, okay, is exactly how it should be done. And the other thing that I know I've recommended to everybody, regardless, you may screw up every which way but loose. but and of course it does take practice. Are you speaking from the heart? It doesn't matter if you're perfect or not. If you're speaking from the heart, that's what comes through. That's what comes out of your eyes. That's what comes out of your mouth. That's what comes out of your face, your emotion. If you're speaking, let's say somebody gave you the topic of bed bugs. Okay?
Yeah.
How do you feel about bed bugs?
Bad goosebumps all over.
All right, that's a start.
Yucky.
Okay. But can you do like maybe a 1-minute thing on bed bugs? How they make you feel?
Yeah, I'm sure I could do that authentically.
Perfect. Then there's your practice right there.
Okay. Thank you, Craig. Great
Yeah.
topic, Craig.
You're very welcome, and thank you
I'll
very
send
much.
it to you, Craig.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. And maybe we'll share it on the next Inner Circle.
Oh, gosh.
I saw Melody
Just
raised her
us.
hand as well. I don't know if she had
Okay,
something
Melody,
to share.
go ahead, open up and share. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I forgot to add that's been critical for me is reward yourself for doing a good job during the day, for getting those things done during the day. It's important. It doesn't have to cost money. You don't have to go buy a $3,000 handbag or pair of shoes. You know, just reward yourself. For me, I get quiet time with my bubble bath, you know. I have my date with Mr. Bubbles. That's my reward, instead of having to take a quick shower to get everything else done, right? Or maybe sitting down for 30 minutes and reading your favorite book, or watching your favorite reality show, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to cost. Just reward yourself for doing those good things, those things that you got accomplished, and continually be doing that, because you get that reward feels good. We all want to be rewarded and recognized and appreciated, right? Well, we need to do that for ourselves too. And for the things that we aren't staying on track with, the things that we get distracted with, instead of beating ourselves up, just give yourself grace. And tomorrow's a new day, right? Tomorrow's a new day.
Don't get it done today. You can get it done tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll sometimes say this is a tomorrow Matt problem, not a today Matt problem.
Yes.
Or Melody taught me, if it's going to be, it's up to me.
Yep.
Thank
you so much, Melody.
Thank you, Melody.
Thank you, Deborah.
Love yes.
Love and
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate that. Let's see. Let me do that. All right. Coming up next, I see Sandy Baker, and I saw Mary put her hand up. So, Mary, you're coming up. But, Sandy, why don't you go ahead and mute yourself and please share with us.
Hey, guys. Okay. I'm getting bogged down. I'm getting too much going on, and I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have two questions. One, and I saw somebody put it in the chat too, and I forgot who did it. So sorry. But when you're doing your creative ideas, do you have different like booklets or different journals that you write things in, or do you put it all in one and try to figure out where you put it?
You want me to answer this first?
Go for
Craig?
it. Go for it.
So here's something that's so interesting about creativity in general. There's this writer that I love. He's back here somewhere, and his name's Neil Gaiman. He wrote like American Gods, Anansi Boys, Neverwhere. Coraline is probably one of his more well-known books, right? Every single new book that he writes, he goes out and buys a brand new colored pen and a brand new journal to write in for every new book. Now, some writers sit at their computer and write. Some people have to go through that process. That's their ritual. I think what's so interesting about that is that it's finding it for yourself, but I love like going out and trying other people's stuff. There's another writer back here, right here, Murakami from Japan. This dude wakes up at 5 a.m. and runs 3 miles before he sits down and writes. I ain't doing that. That ain't happening in my life. So that's not for me, but it works for him. And I've even seen other people make YouTube videos about practicing these techniques and trying them out to see how it works with their creativity, right? And what you realize very quickly is that they came to this on their own. So I think for me, when you ask, is everything in one journal, is everything in many? There's like 5 journals right here. I have 4 over here.
Gotcha.
If you had to ask me to find a specific thing that was in them on a certain idea, I would have to get them all out to find it. So I'm not exactly,
Okay.
I'm like controlled chaos, right? Like my notes are everywhere. If you saw my dad's desk, it's also controlled chaos, so that's where I probably get that from. But you know, he'll have notes and he'll have a notepad sitting there on his desk that he'll write ideas, and he doesn't even write them on the straight lines. No, he writes them like zigzag and like across and stuff. So if you had one of his pads, you'd have to like decipher how it's supposed to work, but that's his process, and you guys will see him do this, right?
Okay.
Like we'll be sitting doing a training or something, or he'll be watching something. You'll see my dad look down and start dribbling. He does that because he always has a notepad like sitting on his desk in front of him where he can just sketch his thoughts out very quickly. So that works for him, right? But to find those thoughts, it's harder to do. Like I get the same thing. To categorize them is not part of my creative process. But for some people, that's why I said Neil Gaiman. He goes out there, gets a specific journal, specific pen. You can even find videos of him talking about this because it's a specific type of both of those things. And he won't start his process until he's done those two things. Some people they'll go on like a small work vacation to a cabin and do their creative work for a bit. Everybody's kind of different. Certain actors will disappear for a month, 2 months at a time and do location work, like practicing what they want to do. I know Daniel Day-Lewis learned how to make dresses and stuff. Like there's certain actors that will go through that whole process because to them, that is getting into the character. That is the creative, that feeling, you know what I mean? So for
Okay.
you, Sandy, you're going to find that on your own. If you find that you get the most out by just scribbling it down and getting it out wherever you can, that's your process. If you're one of those people that stops when you start doing that and goes, I'd really like to categorize this stuff and make it a lot easier for myself to find, then yes, by all means, go out, get a specific journal for that idea, that stories, maybe a specific colored pen that you only use to write that story or that idea with. I don't think that there's a wrong way either way. So that would
Okay.
be my thoughts on it.
Okay. Yeah. See,
Craig,
I have,
do you have a process?
You know, Matt actually put it pretty well. The only thing I would say is if you're starting, maybe do one journal and just start writing everything that goes on in the day. Now, after a while, then I would say, if you feel that, you know what, this is way too much and I need to, like, for example, my business is one journal and then my personal business is the other journal. If you think that you need it at that point, then do that.
That's actually great advice, Craig, because I do at least do that. Like I do separate. I have a personal journal that I write about my thoughts and my feelings in, and that one's completely separate from my work journals. I don't put my personal thoughts into my work journals. Call it weird, call it egotistical, but if anything ever comes of what I do creatively, I don't want someone going through all my journals and seeing my personal shit. I'd rather have my personal thoughts somewhere else and have all my work thoughts in a different place, just for categorizing it that way. If that makes
Okay.
Sandy,
sense.
did you ever have a diary?
Yeah, like when I was 10.
Okay. I mean, in a sense, a journal is a diary.
Okay.
And
Right.
I would say, you know, start that way. And I agree with what Matt is saying. You know, it's like, okay, I'm not that way. I will be honest. I've got you should see what I've got right over here where I'm pointing. I've got a stack of, okay, when we do all of the stuff for Robert, I'm making notes on these pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting dates at the top. I'm putting times of where those things come up in the broadcast so that when I go back, I know where they are, even though I've got them all over the place here on top of this one additional place here. But I can always refer back to them when I create the shorts. And Matt has his own way of doing it as well. But
and that's to ask Craig for his notes.
You don't want to.
Got it.
The thing is, I know where they're at.
Yeah,
Right,
no, but
right.
the truth is we all have our different skill sets. And what's so great about having a community and a team is there's things that Craig does that me and my dad leverage that makes our lives so much easier. that neither one of us are good at or does. And I think that goes to show that as you build something, you get people that become part of your group, your family, your team that like are fit in the spots you probably don't. So me and my dad are like awful at taking notes and that type of stuff. At least I am. I'm not going to speak for him. He's not here. I think he's pretty good at taking notes actually. But
Okay.
And
All
he's
right.
shown you notes at various times in his
Yeah.
journals and his books. And I think to even interpret them, oi,
yeah, there's this
he's got his own code.
right. Exactly. Like we would go to events and they'd be like, if you're with somebody, share notes. And we'd like swap. And I'm like, I can't. Not only that, but he like writes in cursive sometimes and then sometimes not. And I'm like, hieroglyphics. I'm like looking at it, you know, but that's his style and he's done that forever, right? I have my own style of writing.
Right.
I tend to be like a lot more I think about what I write before I write it down with ink just because I tend to be more selective about what I write when I'm gonna use physical stuff. As we're typing, I'll just write gibberish, right? Like I don't mind that. So I
Okay.
think that deliberateness adds a little layer to it too for myself. I don't know if that's for everybody, but that deliberateness of sitting down and journaling or writing in a very physical way gets my mind into, once again, state that I'm doing this task. We're not doing any other tasks. This is the task I'm doing. So
Okay.
if I'm journaling on my computer, what ends up happening is it's like tab here, music over here,
Yep.
this over here, message shows up. So it's good to disconnect sometimes and have that physical journal. So
And I'm going
Okay.
to add to something with that Matt just said, because when I want to learn lines, when I want to concentrate on something, I find that writing it down, I mean, physically writing it down, not typing it on a computer, writing it down imprints it better up here. Now, that's me. Some other people may have it in another
there might
way.
be some science behind that even.
I think there is, but I know that, for example, when I want to memorize lines, yes, I listen to things over and over and over and over and over again. But a lot of times, what I find that has helped me is writing the script. If that means I've got a 2-hour play I'm doing, I am writing all my lines down at some point because I'm imprinting it into my memory how I write. Now, sometimes I may have to write it over and over again. But the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is writing it down helps to maybe bring it more, make it more personal, make it more, imprint it better into you.
Mm-hmm.
This is just my thought. And as
Okay.
Matt said, I think I've heard some other people saying it that way too. And Peter and Linda are saying when writing down, we connect to our heart chakra too. So thank you, Peter and Linda. Appreciate that. Good advice. And
Okay.
deeper connection. Yeah.
Did you want to share
Yes.
something,
Yes.
Sandy? Some
Yeah.
more?
I
Go
do.
ahead.
I
You
have
were
one
going to
more.
share something. Yeah,
Yeah.
Go
please.
for it.
So I'm loving doing all of this AI stuff, but I'm kind of like running out of storage. So do you guys keep it on okay, might be stupid because I'm not a techie person. So do
Yeah.
you use a drive to keep them on a drive? Do you put them in a Google Doc so that it follows you
This is
everywhere?
whatever,
Or-
and this is beast. It's backwards, but I have 2 hard drives sitting right here that I use for that. Yeah. I would just
Okay.
recommend going out, getting a physical hard drive, plugging it into your computer and having all the AI stuff stored on it. Storage
Okay.
now is so inexpensive, you guys. These are
Yes.
both 2 terabytes. And I think in total you can probably get like a external hard drive now for like $100. That's 4
That's what this
terabytes
is
or
right
something.
here. Yeah,
And
this
just
is
store
about
everything
one.
on that.
This is a 1
Okay.
gigabyte.
It's
or
funny
1
that we
terabyte.
talked about
Yeah.
old journals because believe it or not, I see the hard drives the same way. So like when I have a hard drive, I fill it with all of my creative ideas. When it maxes out, I just store it, right? I'm not I'm like a digital hoarder in a sense. Like I really am. Like it's hard to get rid of any graphics I've made, but what's so cool is I'll be like looking through my old hard drives, and I did this recently, and I have some graphics that I made in like 2007. So you're like, oh, that's crazy because you get to see like the progress that's been made there. But no,
Okay.
just go get I'll actually post in the Imaginators group some I recommend on Amazon. So
Okay, that would be great. I'm
you
getting
can
ready
get
to go on
those.
vacation. I leave next Friday,
Ooh.
and my phone was like completely full, and I'm like, I can't get rid of all this stuff because but I have to because I have to take new pictures, and
do you have iCloud or anything like that?
yeah, it's full, and I'm not paying for more.
Right. I get it. So I would just plug your phone in. I'd move everything over to a physical hard drive, and then you'd be free of that. So
Okay,
there's
great.
a
What
lot of
Matt is
different
talking about
things
is
to do
plug it
that.
in like to a computer and then have
Yeah.
that routed into the external hard drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Although
That was
I
it.
have seen some flash type drives
Uh-huh.
that plug into your cell phone. Now it depends on your cell phone, but there
Well, I
are
was
those also available, and I think I've seen them up to as much as 1 terabyte.
okay. And
Mhm.
I was looking at that. I was looking at journals and I was looking at those on Amazon. And I'm like, okay, I have to order something, but I need the correct answer first. So let me see what's going on. All right. That
Hey,
was it. Thank you guys
we're
so
here to
much.
help. Thank you.
And Sandy, keep up the good work with your shorts and your videos. I've noticed a couple of those coming up, so
Thank you.
appreciate you doing that. And anybody who's doing that, please make sure that we, as a group, are aware of those, because we want to support you.
Thank
That's
you.
what's so
And
great about the chat is that we can share stuff like that. I've loved hearing your guys' music you've shared. I've loved seeing the videos and the pictures. See, that's the thing is like the more consistent we're sharing with that stuff, that is such a huge part of creativity, you guys, is sharing it. Like the realistic thing is all this stuff could sit in our heads and never be made, and it would have the same effect on us, unless if of course like there's certain aspects of it. But the truth is like, why would you want to make a movie? Why would you want to make a song? You want to make it to share it. And the sooner you get over that big hurdle of like sharing something, the easier you'll see, wow, it really doesn't hurt to share this stuff, right? So I recommend sharing, you guys, if you can.
okay.
I've been doing it a lot lately. It's helped me a lot. I went from sharing nothing to being like, here's it in its raw state of what it looks like,
And
which
here's
is
know.
another
different.
thing.
When
Here's another
you
thing
went
about
live on
sharing. Go
when
ahead.
you went live
Sorry.
on Telegram that one day, I thought, did he make a mistake? Wait, let me click on there just see.
No, it was on purpose because I do plan on doing more of those streams and stuff. But I'm gonna start this weekend doing them. But yeah, I'm testing it all out because truth be told, I get on these calls and I put myself out there on these calls, but there's other elements of myself that I've wanted to put out there that I've been reclusive about myself that I'm interested in doing more of, like doing more content of my own. So that's,
Okay.
you guys inspire me, right? We all sit in the Imaginators and we're talking about doing our own content and going our own direction. I'm like, should be doing that on top of building unlimited wisdom and everything else. So that's what I'm going to be doing now.
Well,
And
you guys
Sandy, the other
inspire all of us.
Thank you
The
so
other
much,
thing that
Sandy.
I would suggest too is you have kind of web space available with YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't have to publish it. You can keep it private
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
or unlisted so that if you wanted to, you could say, hey, Jody, can I have you take a look at this? What do you think about this video? Now, only the people who you give that link to will be able to find it.
That's true. I did forget about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That
So,
helps a lot.
yeah. And then, is there anything else,
Nope.
Sandy?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you very much. I'm going to ask Raymond before we go on to Mary. Raymond, are those two questions are ones that you're going to ask to chat with us? And otherwise, because we'll come to those. Otherwise,
Yes, sir. I was just throwing them up here because I know both of you guys know the answers to both of these questions.
Mm-hmm.
I was just giving you a chance to answer them in the chat if you'd like, because I take notes as well.
okay.
So
Oh, awesome.
letting you know
We'll
in
come-
advance what my questions were to get me out of the way.
Yeah, we don't
Thank
want
you
you
so
here.
much.
No, we'll just throw you aside there, Raymond.
I know better. I know better.
Yeah, no, we'll come back to you because Mary had her hand up, and so. But thank you very much for your patience. We're going to get there. Mary, go ahead, open up, and please share.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Hello. So I have a question, but I also
Okay.
want to share something.
Sure.
So I've always journaled. I have notebooks constantly all over me where I take notes or I write things down, but I do have a lot of journals. I came across a journal the other day that I bought but never done anything with. And I was talking with Robert, and I'm sure most of you know he gives us so much wisdom and information that we we get so much information that, some of it falls off, and we lose it. We forget some of the things. And one of the things that he told me, and I was talking to him the last couple of days about this, is when I sit down, I have an idea in my head of a number of what I want to accomplish, where I want to get to in my team in MDC. And when you sit down to reach out to people, it kind of seems daunting. And I brought out this journal that I have. And one of the things he told me, and again, I forgot about, was to reduce to the ridiculous. So as I'm talking to him, I have this journal that tells you to write down, what is your goal? What's a purpose? Why is this goal important to you? The date you want to start it and the date you want to end it. So I would do it monthly because that's the way this is set out. The other thing is it gives you an action plan, and then it has little boxes and steps. So what you do is break down, what I'm doing is breaking down this goal into ridiculous steps. So let's say I want to reach out to 100 people this week. When you think about 100 people, it's like, oh my God, that's crazy. But if you break it down into, let's say, 15 people a day, I can do 15 people, or I can do 10 people, or whatever it is, 20 people, whatever. So if you break it down, and it doesn't seem that daunting. So I did want to share that with you. I love this little journal. It breaks it down. But one of the things that he said was to reduce it to ridiculous. So break that down into itty bitty little steps.
Isn't that how you eat an elephant?
Right. One bite at a time.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like, not only is that great advice, Mary, but this is another one of those places when, just as you were saying that, I actually leverage GPT for this all the time. So I'll have a specific task that I need to complete, and I'll ask GPT to break that task down into 10 smaller tasks for me to follow in a row and then do those tasks.
I love that.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, it's sped up a lot of it, because you're so right. The dauntingness of something, it's taking it down, reducing it to that ridiculousness level that you're like, oh, I could do that small little bit, right? It's just one thing and then another thing. But that's action, right? Like, you're just taking the time that you have to do the action, like the action of doing something. Because we spend so much time thinking about what we're doing.
And
right?
I do like to write it down, because I think there is something, that connection between writing and your brain. And I'm very much into understanding the brain, understanding your subconscious mind and how that works. It's fascinating to me. So I do like writing it down. But Matthew, you said something that is kind of something I do. And you mentioned something about before you write it down in ink or something, I write it down in pencil. I'll jot my things down. I'll scribble. I'll write it down in pencil. And then when I go to write it into my journal, then I'll write it in ink once I've figured it out. And I think that's just me being very anal and very analytical. So,
well, it could be, you could see it as a way of solidifying those thoughts and like allowing yourself to have temporary thoughts and permanent thoughts. Like, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I see it similarly. I just don't do the pencil part. I do the writing on the computer part. So that it's like, because to me, that all is temporary. Like, any of that could disappear like that, right? There could be a flood and all my stuff's gone. That could be the same with computers or paper as well. But at the same time, I think like that physicality of writing something definitely correlates with my brain in a different way than typing. And maybe that's why I said maybe it's just a me thing, because I grew up with, like, my cursive sucks. I don't ever write in cursive. My typing very fast. So because I grew up typing and never writing in cursive, right? So to me, it's just faster to get temporary thoughts out this way. But I could totally see how like putting that down in ink would really, it's like solidifying those thoughts.
You're right. You're exactly right. And that's what I do with, because I do also have a lot of other journals. I just forgot about this one until I was talking to Robert the other day. But I mean, I have a gratitude journal and I write in it every morning and every evening. And it only takes like what, 10 minutes. And then I have an ideas journal. I mean, and trust me, that's a mess, but it's just my thoughts. And sometimes when you're in the zone, you have all these thoughts that come in. If you don't put them down right then, 5 minutes later, you'll forget about it. So, um, and
Yeah.
the other thing I did want to ask you is I'm I'm not uncomfortable at all, like speaking in front of people. You
Mhm.
could put me in front of 1,000 people and I wouldn't have problems speaking. I've trained, I've traveled, I've been to India for 8 weeks to train. So I'm very comfortable, like speaking to strangers and speaking in groups. But for whatever reason, for me to get on, like talking to you guys is fine. And I'm looking at the camera and that doesn't bother me.
Mhm.
But I take my phone and I video me, forget it. And I have to find a way to kind of get past that. And I guess how did you guys, I mean, especially with you, Matt, I know you're
Mhm.
shy to begin with, and you've come out of your shell a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you get past that, being afraid of not being afraid, but just being intimidated maybe by that camera sitting there,
Yeah. I think it's just like to realize that the time that you're doing it is not um any more pressure than the other times you're doing other things. Like I think when we sit down in front of the camera, especially if you're not used to it, you're kind of like trained. And back in the day when they did film, this was true, but that it's showtime. We're printing money right now, so you have to be on, right? Don't make mistakes. But the reality is now with digital cameras and all these things, you could take 30 takes and no one's going to know that that exists except you. And so it's mostly just your mind going, I need to get this right immediately. That's stopping you from like sitting down in front of the camera and being that way. As where when you have an audience or you have us, you have an immediate response. They dealt with this with my dad. You have an immediate response to whether things are going well or not. So I love this one saying that Bo Burnham, this comedian, has, because it's like uh, if you're making jokes on the internet on YouTube, right? No one's in front of you. You're making jokes recording into a camera for nobody. You don't know if they're going to laugh or not. You don't know if what you said was just funny. You don't really know because you don't have that response. And I think it just always comes down to like the importance that we put on certain things because we're not used to doing them is always normally too much. Like, it's like, okay, this is very significant what I'm doing right now. It's really not. Everyone has a phone. Anyone records. Watch somebody record a TikTok. Like, watch young people that have grown up with this technology. Being in front of the camera is like so natural for them that they'll do 50 takes of a TikTok out in public with like a crowd of people around them, right? They're oblivious, like main character syndrome, right? But I think it just always comes down to like just sitting down in front of the camera, taking
Feeling it
as many
over.
takes until you feel comfortable. You don't have to stop recording. Like some people will even do the shit, let me restart the recording. No, editing exists and it's in your phone now. You don't have to stop the recording. You just let it flow until you feel comfortable. And you could take the best speakers, the best actors, the best anybody in front of the camera that you know, they still to this day make mistakes in front of the camera all the time. Does happens to everybody. It's more of an acceptance that it happens, right? That amount of, and I'll let Craig speak on it as well, but it's that importance that we give to certain things that makes us so stressed to do it right.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense
So
because we in our head we're putting more importance on that than there really needs to be. So
yeah,
yeah,
do
That's
you put
why I keep
importance to going
saying
to the gas station and gassing your
yeah,
car? No. But yet a
yeah.
teenager that just learned how to drive does.
right. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right. Yes,
It's not significant to you anymore because you do it so often it doesn't matter. That could be in front of the camera as well. It's just a different skill. So
And
that makes perfect sense.
Mary, it'll take a little bit of practice. Here's some things because, okay, remember when the pandemic hit?
Yep.
Okay. I had several friends who are stage performers.
Right.
And to help them, we created this network that I still belong to and still do stuff with. And it's not in front of a lot of people because it's right here in front of the camera. So, one of the things that we've told people that I've found is actually kind of interesting. I don't know what kind of setup you have when you do these. Put a picture of someone that you care about just on the other side of the camera, whether it's above the eye line or to the side of the eye line, and talk to them. Tell what you're saying to them. And boy, what a difference that makes.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Because that's great advice. Great advice, by the way.
It is good advice. And I do want to do YouTube, and I do want to get my YouTube channel started. It's just that intimidation of actually putting myself out there.
Sure.
I was actually thinking of doing it where I would have kind of like the God memorandum, where she has the words and she has the pictures. I was thinking of doing something like that to begin with, to start until, I'm comfortable speaking, but it's that speaking and you have that camera. So until getting used to that, I think I'm going to at least try that, because I do have, I'm familiar with Canva. I have the paid version, so I'm going to try to do it there. So
yeah, I think again, the more that you do it, the better you're going to become. Bottom line. And first time I was up on stage, first time I actually did things like this. Yeah, I was fumbling all over the place. And you have to start at step one.
That's true. Yeah, you do.
And like we said earlier, you know what? If it doesn't look good, if it doesn't work, erase. Start over. Because the more that you do it, the better you're going to get. Oh, now I see that. Now I see what I need to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's honestly, there's streamers out there, you guys, that make millions of dollars streaming every single day, that make content and they never watch their own content ever. The moment they make it and upload it, they don't ever watch it again.
You're right. I don't think I could. I don't think I'd want to.
Yeah, I think that that's a large part of it too, is it's just going, okay, I made something, I'm finished with this. Don't think, like Mr. B said, come at every single video kind of thinking how you could be better than the last video, but don't come at it thinking of how shitty you were in that first video. That doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's a process, like Craig was saying. And, I had a moment in time where I was fine in front of the camera when there was nobody there. And then it's well, live is totally different, because that was different for me. Right. And so for me, that was when Periscope came out. If you guys remember that, it was this live streaming version of Twitter. And so I decided in that moment in time, you can go on my YouTube channel right now and watch these reviews if you want to see the progress that I've made. I put them all back up there so you guys could see. But I would get on every single day. I would watch a movie and then get on every single day and review it live to a group of people that majority were random. They just hop on and say shit to me, sometimes the meanest stuff to me. And I put myself in that position because, to me, realistically, if I could do that, then I could do all the rest, right? And I'm not saying everybody should do that, but I'm more of one of those people. So maybe my advice wouldn't be the same as Craig's, because Craig has worked with many different people, right? I've never worked with anybody to get them good in front of the camera like Craig has. So in my personal experience, I'm get in front of the camera as often as possible and you'll get rid of that. And that's true, but not everybody's going to do that. You know what I mean? It's steps. So
that kind of makes perfect sense, because I know when I started training corporate world, the first time I had to do a training, I was very uncomfortable. But, once you've done it, day after day after day after day, it's
I was doing a film review every day. I think I got to 40. So by the 40th video, I was I'm good now. I'm fine in front of the camera. Then I started thinking in the opposite direction. How do I make this better? How do I make this great? And then that's where I was I'm done with this.
The
'Cause
problem
then I'm
is,
sitting there editing and doing all these things, and I'm like, I'm not that excited about reviewing movies in this way. So then I lost my flavor for it. But as where if I would have just kept doing the lives, I probably would have still been doing them. Like I didn't mind that part. So
I just think we're very critical of ourselves. So
Absolutely.
I think we're
Yeah.
our own worst enemy as far as watching something. For me, I think I would probably do the video and and make sure, look at it once and upload it, but I don't think I could ever watch it again. So I get it. All right, that's all I had. Thank you so
thank
much.
you,
I
Mary.
appreciate you guys' help.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay. Raymond, you're next, but I wanted to let David Menetre know that he's coming up. So, because I see his hand up there. So where are you, Raymond? Let's go ahead and bring you on board. Go ahead and unmute yourself and please share.
Yeah.
Hi, Raymond.
Hey, man. How you doing, brother?
Doing great.
The first question was referring back to your statement about the jump drive for the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And is that for iPhone, Android, or both, or do you know?
So depending on whether you guys want to get your stuff off your phone or not, you'll have to, I believe most modern phones, unless if your phone is older, you would just need an adapter for this to connect it to an iPhone. And that would just be a USB-C to Lightning adapter.
Well, I have Android.
Yeah, if you have Android, then it should just plug right into the USB-C on your Android, which is the circular plug-in. And it should show up in your files on your phone if it's a more modern phone. So
Yeah, and my second question, what are the benefits of paid YouTube account other than, not getting the commercials?
just honestly, just the ad-free aspect of it. Like I haven't noticed any other benefits that I use. I know that there's certain ones that people that travel a lot use. Like I know my brother just used it to download a bunch of YouTube videos and content onto his phone because he's flying to Japan. So I don't know if you're allowed to download YouTube videos without premium to their app, right? I'm not talking about to your phone, but they have a specific spot, I think, for premium. And then a tool that I don't use because I have Spotify and I'm never leaving because I have all my playlists on there. But YouTube Premium also comes with YouTube Music. So you'd have like the ability to listen to any music out there. So one more feature that I actually do use every single day. You can have your phone screen off and still listen to videos from YouTube. So that works very well for like podcasts because if you don't have premium, it like pauses them, I guess, when you click your screen off. So that's another thing is I can listen to podcasts while I'm on a walk and stuff from YouTube without it having to download them onto my phone, right? So
now, what about downloading videos? Can you download someone's video, the whole video, I guess you could say, or whatever, without it being a paid account? I mean, can you do that with a free account?
So there's a couple of tools that are great with this. The one that I use and have been using for years is called iTube Go. Now, I think that there's a paid version of this. I don't know if it's completely free, but I paid for it $20 one time, maybe 5 years ago, still using the exact same software. They're still updating it. And it basically will let me, I just posted it in the Imaginators chat, but I'll post it on here too. But this program lets me rip like basically any video on the internet, right? And then it even has like a browser inside of it if you have the PC version where you can log in and download things even from paid services, which is pretty nuts. But that's the one I use. So all you need to do with that is download it, copy the YouTube URL, paste it, and it just starts downloading it onto your computer. So
Sweet. All right, brother. I sure appreciate y'all's knowledge bombs.
Appreciate you too.
Thanks
for sharing with us.
I just want to say one more thing before I go.
Go for it.
I love being an Imaginator, and I love being in the Imaginator family. And I'm all in, brother. I'm all in. I might be the quiet type, but you got to watch them quiet types.
Absolutely.
Thank
you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
Raymond, do you have a PC computer at home?
Yes, sir. I have a Dell, I think it is, or HP. I'm not sure. I have so many, but I have a laptop computer, 3 phones. I mean, I'm not a
Okay.
phone person though. I think I'm Generation X, and I'm a computer. I'm old school, new school. You know what I'm saying? I mix it together. I
Right.
have paper and pen, but I'd rather use my computer.
No, I
The
have an
reason,
iPhone 11. People think I'm nuts. They're like, why won't you upgrade your phone? It works so slow. Every time my wife grabs it, she's like, you can upgrade this anytime you want. And I'm like, if you saw my computer setup in here and everything, this is where I spend most of my time. I rarely spend it on my phone, so I don't really use it that much unless if I'm away or traveling, which is rare.
Yeah,
and I
when
just upgraded from an S8 to an S22 for a
Mhm.
cell phone. So because my S8 finally just pooped out on me, otherwise I would have kept it.
well, Matthew, I would like to ask you when the time is right. Because sometimes the times it's not right for things to happen. But when the time's right, I would like to go shopping with you for my new computer because
Yeah.
see that setup to your left right there, man. That is
Oh,
sweet.
this is my wife's setup back here.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
crap.
so me and my wife, she wasn't into PC games or anything when I first met her. I converted her, but I built her this computer a couple years back. If you guys saw my whole computer setup here, it's pretty nuts. But I would fit more into that uh not obsessive, but it's like a hobby of mine, building computers and doing those things. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, send me a picture of your setup one day.
I
Just,
will. I'll post it in the
I can
Imaginators
only
chat for you
imagine.
guys.
I can only imagine
It's
what.
It looks like the Matrix in here. I have multiple. Craig's seen it, and he's like,
Yeah.
so
And
thank you so much.
I've only got the
Thank you, man.
laptop and a big screen behind it.
That's
So
my dad. He plugged the laptop right into some screens, and there he goes. Same
yeah.
laptop he uses when he sits in his chair, and he's all Apple. So every time I travel, I have to deal with all this Apple stuff. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. No.
Raymond, the other thing I was going to share is if you have a laptop or even a PC, hit the control or hit the Windows key and the G key, and you can record the window that you happen to be on. But make sure that you select the window and just don't move away from it. And you can record that window and it will download into your computer on the capture file in the files. So that's one way that you can record those videos. Yes, you have to, wait. If it's like a 20-minute or 30-minute video, you have to wait until the end of it. But that is another way, and that's a free way to do that.
Right.
The other one that have used in the past and sometimes still do is called FreeCam, and it's another little free mini program that you can download, and it's free and it'll record. It takes a little practice, but it works. I've gotten some great videos off it because I can just set it in motion, walk away, come back, boom, done.
Yeah, I use a screen capture program. It's called Snagit. You can.
That's another one I've heard of. Yes.
Oh, it is sweet. I love it, man. I thank my wife for it. She got it for me for Christmas or something one year, and I've upgraded to the latest version. And now they're mixed where you can mix videos, just drag and drop and mix videos, join them together. It's sweet. It's really
That's cool. I love technology, man. Like every single year, every single month, it's becoming easier for us to use. Like I was talking to my younger brother before I got on here with you guys, and we were talking about how right now you can go on Microsoft's website or Google's website and get a degree from them or a certification in AI in different fields and land $100,000 a year job in AI right now if you wanted to. It's just people don't want to, or they don't want to learn AI. So it's interesting because the world's kind of shifting in so many ways, but in a lot of ways we're moving to a communication world instead of a digital world, which is great. Like at some point I'll just communicate with an AI and say, build me a website, and it will build me the website the way I want. Instead of me having to do it. Maybe me and Coach Bob would spend a lot less time, coming back and forth to our computers. So
yeah, I'm a semi-retired website designer.
well, there you go. This could be the Alcohol Anonymous for website developers. So
I thought
So we may see Raymond version 2.0.
What's that, Craig?
So we may see Raymond version 2.0 here.
Oh yeah, this is a new chapter, my brother. I'm in my new chapter. I have turned the page.
Glad to hear it. Thank you so much, Raymond.
Thank you guys. I love y'all, man. Whole family.
Thanks, Raymond. Appreciate you very, very much. All right, David Minitre or Minitree. This is the first time we've had you on, at least that I'm aware of. So please go ahead, open up and share. Are you going to use your camera? That's another question.
Yeah, it's fine if you don't want to either.
Exactly.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. I'm on a bit. Oh yes, you can see
There
me.
you are.
Hello.
Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi everybody. I'm new to the group. I have been on. I've actually been attending live a couple of the Imaginators, and it's my second or third um, inner circle, and I've been having to watch replays a lot because of my work schedule. A lot of times when this is on, I can't get on. I'm at work, especially
I'm sorry
when the
about that.
inner circle was on 11 o'clock at 10 o'clock at night.
What were they thinking? I don't know why they would do that.
I had to watch the replays. So yeah, I'm very grateful to be on here. I want to also thank Lisa Marie Cook, because without her, I wouldn't be on here. She's the one who introduced me.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we
what-
have a mutual friend in Nigeria, and she started. He recommended me to her, and she messaged me, and then she got me signed up with my daily choice. Haven't really done much with it yet. I gotta be honest, 'cause I'm so busy. But yeah, I got signed up with it, and I'm trying to join as much of these as possible. You know,
Well,
it's a
we're
little
glad
bit
to have
hard.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have talked to Robert a little bit too. I'm in a little chat with him, him and Robert, Lisa, and me. So sometimes I can chat with him, and I think my goal was to one time get on a one-on-one or a three-way between him, Lisa, and myself. So,
Oh,
but
I definitely think that will happen.
oh
for sure.
yeah, yeah, because I'm trying to, I've been working my whole life. I'm trying to become my own boss and not trade my time for money anymore. But that's what I've been doing. I'm just blessed that I have a home now. I mean, well, I had a home. Blessed that I have my own home. I bought my first home last month. I'm
Oh,
so grateful.
congratulations.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
huge.
That is huge. And one thing I want to say about my morning routine, we talked about that earlier, is that every morning and well, even evening too, but my morning consists of praying what you call liturgy of the hours. That's morning prayer. Being a Catholic, I'm devoted to this. It looks like the Bible, but I pray this every day, every morning, and that and some other prayers from small devotional prayer books. Every morning, that's my routine. Um, what I think I really want to do is start writing down goals. I got a dry erase board. I can write them down on there. I did last year for my year-end goals, and I met almost all of them. But I think I got to really make a year-end goals for 2024 and see how many of them I can accomplish. So
Yeah,
that's
well, I
what
mean, if you have the same level that you had last year, it sounds like quite a
Yeah,
few. So that's good.
yeah,
I've done that myself. Like this used to be a dream board back here. We painted dream boards, me and my wife, and then put a bunch of stuff on them that we wanted. And nothing's on there because we've done pretty much all of that stuff by now. But we still have the paintings from years ago because it was just a fun. Yeah. So I know everybody does it differently, but the whiteboard stuff, that's a great idea. Like write some goals down. Think about like even you don't have to make them like the whole year, but like even in the next couple of months or for the summer, it's like, what do I want to do by summer? What do I want to do this summer? What do I want to, like get yourself excited about different things that you want to do, or especially if you plan on working in My Daily Choice, what you want to do with that, or the income that could come from that. So there's many, many different ways to think about goals. I think as far as having them in front of your face, like even we were talking about earlier, like having them visually around you.
yeah.
I think actually I'm going to leave this call and do that again for myself because I haven't done that in a long time. And I do
Oh,
think it really does work to have a visual to those things around you. So
Oh, yeah. And one thing that I'm always taking advice from Robert, and um, he has just harped on this book, and I bought it from Barnes and Noble.
Oh,
oh, we know that
absolutely.
book. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I had to get it because he raves about it.
Hmm.
So I went to Barnes and Noble. I said, I want to order this book. And said, no need to order it. We have it in store. And I followed the clerk back to the book shelf. He got it right away. He found it immediately, right
It
where it
was meant
was.
to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. And
That's
I'm
so
I'm glad.
great. So
That's
have you
what I
started
did.
reading any of it yet, or you just got it?
I'm actually still reading a book by Matthew Kelly that I gotta finish up, which I
Mm.
love him too. I gotta finish that book, and then I guess after I finish that book, I'll start reading this. I want to read one book at a time.
I'm one of those people too. I'm a singular reader. Like I like to be immersed in one book. If I read three, then my mind starts to go crazy. There's a certain amount of too much reading. So, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, David. Did you have any questions for us or
Oh,
anything?
no, I
I mean,
think I
we
was
just
just
like having you here too. You don't have to have any questions.
yeah,
Thanks for
I can think of a
introducing
good
yourself.
question right now. I think I
Okay.
remember asking Robert a question a few months back on Ask Me Anything.
Hmm.
So, and no, I think right now I'm just you know glad that I've got a full-time job, but at the same time, I have the desire to become my own boss and not have to work this job until
Go
um
for it.
well, I'm 70 years old or until the day I die. I don't want to do that. I want to have financial freedom, but at the same time, I can't quit my job until I'm making money outside of it. So,
If you
but
ever read The Science of Getting Rich, that's something that The Science of Getting Rich, which
oh
also Robert
yeah,
promotes,
Hmm.
does talk about is
okay, yeah.
don't quit what you're doing, or don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Okay, that's the phrase that everybody uses. Don't quit what you're doing now, but take whatever time that you can allot, like we
Hmm.
had talked about earlier, and use that time to think to better yourself with something, whether it is okay, working with Lisa Marie on My Daily Choice, or whatever it is that you want to do, and allot the time for that. But yes, please, you don't want to quit your job and then find that you've got nothing coming in. I know that the rule of thumb has always been get at least, before you quit, get at least 3 to 6 months of reserves
Oh
that you
yeah.
can live on in your bank, and then decide whether you want to go for it. And during that time, then you've built up the experience so that you can do that, and it'll be an easier transition. Don't just cut it off right then and there.
Oh yes, yes. That would be pretty foolish to do
You
so.
don't yeah, you don't want to put yourself under that stress for no reason. Like
Yeah,
unless if the
and
job
or
is
your
extremely
family.
stressful. But
Right.
yeah.
Uh, no, actually, the job was stressful in the beginning because we were overworked, but now we uh, we work 40 to 50 hours a week. We used to work a lot more. We used to get 65 hours in a week, 6 days a week. Now we just do 5 days a week, thankfully. And I think most people are happy. And we have um, like a family atmosphere at work.
Okay.
People are happy with the job. Morale's been high. We celebrate production records. I'm a steel worker. We celebrate production records by going out and go bowling and get paid for it, or we'll go to a David Buster's, a place that has a bunch of arcade games and food. Celebrate safety. We celebrate different things together. We also give away prizes at work by spinning a wheel. So we
Mm-hmm.
do all these fun activities at work, which makes the job more enjoyable. People will look forward to going to work now.
That's good.
Yeah.
It sounds
Very
like
good.
you have a boss that actually genuinely cares about you guys. So
Yeah,
that's good.
he does. And well, it's our plant manager. Our previous plant manager just cared about safety mostly and getting the work out, the orders pushed out the door. Our current manager, I think, is also concerned about um, doing well and building morale, making people happy, and doing things fun together as a company that makes people want to stay there. And we went from having a high turnover rate to a turnover rate that's basically has been zero the past 3 months.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
not longer. So, but yeah, that's all I want to say. I'll try to hop on Sunday on the Imaginators.
Imaginators.
Yes, I'll try
Awesome.
to
Well,
get
we'd
on
love to
that.
have you, David. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
getting on and sharing with us and introducing yourself. Thank you.
God bless you, and I hope to see Robert back on Sunday. Yeah, I think we
Oh,
all
he'll
miss.
be there. I'm gonna
He'll be
drag
back
him there
tomorrow.
if I have to fly all the way to or
Yeah.
Montana to do it. So
Okay. All righty. God bless you all, and God bless you, Lisa, if you're on. Thank you for inviting me to this group. Yes.
thank
Yeah,
you, David.
she's here, and there she is. I see her clapping her hands. So,
All
David, thank
right.
you,
Thank
and thank you
you.
very much for sharing.
Yes. Good night, everybody. God bless you all.
Have a great night, David.
Now Mary did raise her hand earlier, and I guess she's got a little follow up here because we're gonna okay, just a little because we got to wrap it up here shortly. So I just wanted to.
I'll have to go. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
another. I have a bunch of groceries getting delivered in a half an hour that I just have to run out and grab. So
All right.
if we still have questions, that's fine. But we would like to wrap it up in those 2 hours. So
Yeah. So Mary, go ahead, open up and share with us again.
It's just something very quick. So
Sure.
I noticed just a few minutes ago you were talking about vision boards and dream boards, and just kind of a funny thing. Several years ago, I have a lot of, or actually most of the Abraham Hicks books. And in one of the books, and I'll be honest, I don't remember which one it was, it gave you different lessons to envision things. And one of them was to take it, well, you could download their checks, or you could take like an old checkbook and write out checks to whatever the vision is. And obviously I started out small. So I wrote a bunch of checks and what they were and at the time and forgot about them. And I came across them, I think last year. Now, this is probably 8 years ago. So I came across them and I looked at them and I had to laugh because every single check I wrote at that time, I now have, or I have done, or I have completed. So I just had to share that because
that is incredible.
Isn't
Yeah,
that weird?
but
I mean, it's
but
not
that was the
anything
thing with us. You
huge.
know, you move, you take stuff when you move, and we moved out here, and so we take the boards and then we look at them and we go, holy shit, like we did most of this stuff. Isn't that crazy? But it was the time that we took to think about what we actually wanted. I think that was so valuable. When you brought up the checks too, I know Craig's mind probably immediately went to the same thing as mine, which Jim Carrey did this.
Lisa Marie posted it in the chat here.
Right.
Zoom.
Yeah,
Go
Jim
ahead,
Carrey
Matt.
did that. No, you share this story, Craig. You probably know it better than me.
Well, you brought it up. Basically, and he's even said this on like Ellen and a few other talk shows. When he was just starting out as an actor, he wrote himself a check for $10 million, put it in his pocket, in his wallet, and carried it with him. And he said, I will have $10 million as a part of my acting career. And I think it was, I can't remember exactly the movie. Okay. Don't quote me on this one, but it was one of his mid-area movies. I almost want to say it was.
I think it was The Mask.
I think it was The Mask, where finally he got $10 million for the movie.
And wasn't it too like the check he had dated the check, and the check was actually he had accomplished it near the date, which was insane.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the power of positive thinking. You know, like if you go at life with that lens, it becomes a lot easier, you know. It's like, what do I want? What do I envision? What do I see, you know?
If that's what it takes for you to get that vision, that visualization of what you want. I know people, okay, let's say on your computer, their screensaver is something that they want. That is, in a sense, their vision board. Or maybe, you know, like over here on my left, I've got a blank wall. Well, maybe I'll put up a Lamborghini Miura. or something. That was just the first thing that came to
I
my
was
mind.
gonna say I didn't know you're a Lamborghini man, Craig.
Oh, I love Lambos. Well, actually, that's one of my cars. The other one is a '66 Mustang convertible.
See, you and my dad would be competing because his is a '69 Camaro. So
oh yes, the
yeah,
age
you
old,
guys would be
the age old duel.
right.
Actually, I had a '68 convertible. It was a '68 Mustang convertible. I
Really?
like the old muscle cars. Yeah, I had a 1970 Chevelle SS.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah.
Love it. Anyways, I love the old muscle cars. But I just wanted to share that because
thank you for sharing that, Mary.
Checks, and it was just amazing to me. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty cool.
Great. Well,
thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Oh, now people are posting in the chat here. Sandy Baker, 67 Camaro.
Either everyone has old classic cars, or you guys have just driven them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jet black 69 Camaro, Mustang. Man, this is the divide of the inner circle here.
Cadillac CTS. Oh my goodness.
It's like, are we team Ford or are we team Chevy? Which one are we? We're team everybody, okay?
Exactly.
So, well, thank you guys so much for getting on here. This was great. Sorry my dad couldn't make it today, but like I said, he'll be back for the Imaginators. And of course, the AMA this Saturday. So
absolutely. And thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Let's give shout outs to the people who participated. Coach Bob, Lisa Marie, Deborah Bronner, Melody Ryba, Sandy Baker, Mary Valchik, Raymond Freeman, David Menetre. Thank you all very much for participating in today's Inner Circle. Matt, bless you, my friend. Thank you so
Craig,
much.
bless you.
You know, I'm going to speak a little bit for Matt. We couldn't do this without each and every one of you. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us and to support us too. We will look, Robert, I'm sure is planning tomorrow for a daily live. And then of course, Saturday and Sunday at noon Pacific will be the, Ask Me Anything on Saturday, Imaginators on Sunday. And then of course, now Wednesdays, we've got the podcast. So lots of things that go on here because you're part of this amazing group. And we appreciate you very, very much. So, Matt, unless you get something else to say, I know it's 4:42.
Nope, I'm all good. Thank you for ending it. Thanks, Craig, for not only just hosting this, but sharing your wisdom and helping me do this as well. I know we all benefited from having you here, and I just love and appreciate you so much for helping me out with this. So.
Love and appreciate you. And okay, Eric, fine. It's 6:42 where you are.
I think that means that we have to do another happy birthday for Eric because he said something, right?
Yeah. All right. One more time, everybody. Ready? One,
happy
two,
birthday.
three.
Oh, I'm starting.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric.
Happy birthday, dear
Happy birthday to you. Have a great day, Eric. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Love you all. Bye.